Okay, we're going to finish off this first section here of the tutorial 1, and it'll get us through to section 1.2. Okay, so we're going to resize columns and rows here just so you can actually make sense of this, otherwise it looks really messy. So I'm at the bottom of page 25, Excel 25 in the green. I'm going to increase the width of column A. So I'm going to go back to my sheet here. I'm going to move the pointer over the right border of the column A heading, over the right border of the column A heading until it looks something like that. So you see this split cursor that comes up with arrows pointing to the right and to the left. I'm going to click and hold, and when I click and hold, it tells me what the width is right now with the little screen tip, and it says width 8.43, 64 pixels. So if I drag it to the right, I can make it get close to 15. And there it's at 15, 110 pixels. Leave it there, but keep holding on to the mouse for just a moment. And you can also see some other things that happen there. You can see a vertical line which shows you how it's going to look on your spreadsheet. And again, you can see that screen tip. So once you've got that figured out, you can let go of it, and it actually moves that entire column over so you can read the whole thing. Pretty handy to be able to read the whole thing. If you look at the image on page 26, yours should look similar to theirs. Column A looks pretty handy, but B and C and D and E, and that one's not too bad, but a lot of them are just kind of nasty. So on page 6 at the bottom, we're going to click on the column B heading. Okay, so click on the column B heading, and now you've got the entire column selected. Step 2 says to hold down the control key. Okay, so press and hold the control key, and then click on column C. And so you've got columns B and C both selected now because you can see that they're highlighted in gray. Now I'm going to move the pointer to the right of column C until it gets to be that split cursor. So not the plus sign, not the downward broad arrow, but the cursor that has a split arrow pointing in each direction. And then click and drag on that until the column changes to 18. So get that one to 18. And then you can let go of that. And so that made both of those columns 18 units or whatever wide. 18 characters, actually. Don't let that confuse you, because if you have large text, that's not going to really matter. So I'm going to click on column D, and I've got the entire column selected now. And if I go to the Home tab at the ribbon at the top, and I click on the Format, so I'm looking for Format. So where's Format? Way over here. Okay, so if I click the Format button, it's asking me what I want to do here. And if I click on column width, it asks me exactly how big I want that column width to be. And I'm going to tell it 15. And then choose OK. Actually, is that what it wants me to do? It wants me to make it 30. I got ahead of myself. 30. Choose OK. And then let's click on column A, and let's do the same thing. I'm going to go to Format, Column Width, and this one, we'll make that one 15. We're going to make column E 15 characters as well. So that's the format cells. There's other ways to do this. This is not the way I typically do it. That's way too much mousing around for me. A lot of times I like to right click and be able to get to these things. Anyway, you'll find whatever it is the sweet spot for you. So bottom of page 27, auto fit the contents of column D. So if I click on column D and I see that I've got a split cursor to the right of the column, and I'm going to double click on that once I get the split cursor. And when I double click on that with the split cursor, it actually sizes that column so that it fills that entire. Again, I'll just do it one more time. Split cursor, double click, and it resizes it so everything can be seen. And last couple things. So page 28, we're going to wrap the text in column D. Okay, so we're going to resize column D however you want to. Make it around 30. So you could go to the format, you could go to click and drag, you could right click, you could do a lot of different sorts of things. But get it back to where some of the titles are missing or you can't see all of them. And then on step 2 on page 28, select the range D13, so D13 through D17. Those are the ones that kind of go out of sight. And we want to be able to read all of those things. I'm going to show you a different way instead of having to just stretch it out, because that doesn't work very well. You might not want it to work that way. You might want it to go up and down instead. Click on the Home tab at the ribbon. Find the alignment group kind of in the center, and then we want to click on the Wrap Text button. And once you do that, everything at the bottom just stretched itself out up and downward so that you could read all of the words in those cells. 2 cells in particular were ones that flowed over to the right, and that was in row 13 and in row 15, and those got wider. And you can see that here and here. Now they're asking us to make cell A12 the active cell, step 4 on page 28. And we're going to change some row heights now too. So page 29, increase the row height of row 12. So move the pointer over the bottom border of row 12. So the bottom border of row 12 until the pointer changes to that split cursor. You can see it. Once I get over there, if I'm in the row, it points to the right with a fat arrow. If I go up, it gives me upward and downward facing arrows with a line between it. If I click and hold there, and I drag that down until it says 30 points. So height is 30, and the pixels say 40. Okay, so I've made that row just a little bit wider. And then once we've done that, we can save the work, and you have completed this section of the book. And then we're going to get started on Monday with, let me get you there. On page 30 and 31, we're going to be going over some real basic formulas, and you can see that on page 30 and 31. I want you to just take a brief look at that in your book, and then on Monday we're going to pick up starting with page 33. So hopefully this hasn't been too terribly boring. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you on Monday for sure. I will not be in class on Friday. I will not be available. I'll be driving. I'll be in Jackson. There may be a short time when I'd be able to answer some mail, but take a look at these videos and good luck.